Once in a while, we treat ourselves to some fancy gourmet dinner just to get a taste of the high life. But when we get home, it's back to the same old pizza and Chinese takeout as we count down the days till our next paycheck. The next time you're feeling bougie, check out some outrageous grub that would cost you an arm and a leg, or both. Here are 11 foods only the rich can afford. What's up, Facnatics? This is Discovery Amuse, serving up your daily dose of the most outrageous, outlandish, and out-of-this-world fun facts. Let's see whether our number one pick will whet your appetite or crush your self-esteem. Time to satisfy our expensive cravings. Number 11. Grand Velas Taco. Tacos are a great hangover food after a late night of partying.
Come on, let's get some tacos.
But for the ultra-rich revelers staying at the presidential suite of the Grand Velas Los Cabos Resort in Mexico, they have the option to splurge 25 grand on the world's most expensive taco. I know what you're thinking. What's the deal with the sky-high price? Is it made of gold?
Somebody tell me what is up with that?
Well, yeah, it kinda is. The tortilla used in this luxury taco is infused with edible gold. Meanwhile, the filling is made of Kobe beef, lobster, black truffle brie, and a dollop of beluga caviar. And as if that isn't high-end enough, the taco is topped off with civet coffee, considered the most expensive coffee in the world, and garnished with even more layers of edible gold on top. Of course, a taco that's pricey would need a drink that's just as expensive. The resort recommends having a bottle of Ley 925 Pasión Azteca Ultra Premium Añejo Tequila. That will set you back a cool $150,000. If I'm able to pronounce the name of that tequila 10 times, do I get a free shirt at least? Yeah! Keep watching because one bite of our number one food will send you straight to luxury town.
I'm so fancy. Can't you taste this girl?
Number 10. Kobe beef. There's good beef, there's expensive beef, and then there's Kobe beef. This meat is highly coveted by steak lovers because of its flavor, tenderness, mouth-watering marbling. It's held to such high standards that you can't call it authentic Kobe beef unless it passes strict requirements. The meat comes from a breed of Japanese Wagyu cattle called Tajima, raised in Japan's Hyogo Prefecture. The cattle need to be reared and fed according to protocols set by a special council. The meat from these cows would then be screened before earning the esteemed Kobe beef label. It's said that only about 3,000 of these Tajima cattle pass the strict standards each year, making the Kobe beef a prized delicacy in Japan. If you want to take a bite of these pricey babies, expect to spend around $76 to $280 per person. Number 9. White truffles. Normal truffles are already some of the rarest and most expensive ingredients available on the market. Truffle hunters make a fortune foraging for these fungi, and chefs are extra careful when handling them. But white truffles? Let's just say they're the queen of the mushroom kingdom. $2,000 a pound, anyone? White truffles are mostly found in the Piedmont region of Italy and are only available for harvest between October and December. It's difficult to cultivate, and it's even harder to find. Hunters bring along specially trained pigs or dogs when foraging because the canines could smell the truffles through the soil. Once harvested, these truffles need to be processed and shipped as soon as possible because its weight and flavor can depreciate rapidly. That's why they're regarded as being more valuable than gold.
I love gold!
Number 8. Ruby Roman grapes. Imagine a bunch of grapes so rare it can fetch almost $500 per single grape. In 2008, a new variety of grapes was introduced in Japan, the Ruby Roman grape. which is only grown and marketed in Ishikawa Prefecture. What sets it apart from all the average grapes is its sweetness, juiciness, and lower acidity. Oh, and it's also the size of a ping pong ball. Each grape undergoes rigorous screening before it enters the elite circle. The standards are so strict that only 6 grapes qualified in 2010 and none at all in 2011. In 2019, 24 of these exorbitant fruits were sold at an auction for a whopping $11,000. You can practically buy the whole produce section with that. But, you know, that's how the filthy rich roll. Number 7. Densuke Black Watermelon. Japan sure has cornered the market of luxury grub for the most discerning palate.
You guys sure like watermelon. Want a bite? Not on your life.
Grown in the northern island of Hokkaido, the Densuke Black Watermelon is an extremely rare type of watermelon that is said to be sweeter, crunchier, and has fewer seeds than the standard varieties. They also come in these fancy schmancy cardboard boxes and stamped with a certificate of origin. Only less than 100 Densuke Black Watermelons are produced each year, so it's no surprise that a single piece of one of these bad boys can cost anywhere between $250 and $6,000. In fact, in 2008, a 17-pound watermelon was auctioned off for $6,100, making it the most expensive one ever sold in the country. Number 6. Bird's nest soup. Would you pay more than $100,000 for a bowl of bird saliva? I probably wouldn't, but apparently a lot of crazy rich Asians would.
Hells yeah.
Bird's nest soup is made of edible bird's nest and is considered a valuable delicacy in Chinese cuisine. However, it can cost you up to $100 for a single serving. It's actually a fair price once you learn how extremely daunting it is to harvest the nests of the swiftlet bird. Swiftlets, not to be confused with fans of Taylor Swift, build their nests out of their solidified saliva on cliff sides and cave walls thrice a year, so getting them can be a dangerous task. Aside from that, not all swiftlet nests are created equal, so harvesters have to pick the nests at the right time, that is, after the bird eggs have hatched and before the female bird lays another batch. The more common nests can set you back between $5,000 and $6,000 per kilo, but the rare red nests from the red nest swiftlet can cost as much as $10,000 per kilo. Number 5. Jamón Ibérico. Now, let's travel to one of the world-renowned homes of gourmet cuisine, Spain, where a pig leg can cost as much as $4,500. Que horror! Dubbed as one of the most expensive meats in the world, the Jamón Ibérico is a type of dry-cured ham made from the rear leg of a black Iberian pig, commonly found in the Spanish Iberian Peninsula. These pigs live in the wild and mostly eat acorn, which gives the ham its unique flavor. They are also raised in a special ecosystem known as Dehesa, a mountainous area that's known for its harsh weather conditions. Depending on the weight, the curing process of the Jamón Ibérico can take anywhere from 2 to 4 years. There's also a specific way to slice a piece of these fancy hams to get that perfect balance of fat and meat. Delicioso!
Delicioso!
Number 4. Ayam Cemani. At first glance, you might think that these chickens must have been artificially dipped in black ink. But don't panic, it's organic. This deeply pigmented poultry called Ayam Cemani is a unique chicken breed native to Java, Indonesia. You can easily spot a fake one because the real deal isn't just jet black on the outside. The true blue Ayam Cemani's insides are also tinged a dark hue, including the organs, the meat, and the bones. They might as well be called the Ferrari of fowls because you will need to shell out about $5,000 for a mating pair. That's a lot of money, Henny. As for the taste, it pretty much tastes like chicken. Just a tad more savory, less cholesterol, and richer in protein. I don't know about you, but I'd probably keep this one as a pet. Number 3, $914 aged coffee. You don't need to smell or even take a sip of this coffee to perk you up. All you need to do is look at its astronomical price tag.
You have money, right?
Commoners, meet the notorious $900 Munch coffee sold exclusively at this humble coffee house in Osaka, Japan. Just like some of the best inventions, this cup of joe was the result of a happy accident. Cafe owner Kanji Tanaka usually brews his iced coffee by batches and stores them in the fridge, ready to be served. But one time, he completely forgot to take out one batch. He only discovered it about 6 months later. He didn't throw it out immediately, though. Kanji took a sip of the stale coffee and was pleasantly surprised by its unique flavor. Because of that, he came up with the idea of using 20-year-old coffee beans and roasting them himself. But that's not the only reason this coffee is crazy expensive. His special Nell drip system is so methodical that it takes 30 minutes for the first drop of coffee to fall into the cup. The brew is then stored in wooden barrels and a fresh order is poured out of a tap. And those who have tried it agree that this pricey caffeine fix is worth every darn penny. Number 2, donkey cheese. Sure, it doesn't have a swanky ring to it, but donkey cheese is considered the most expensive cheese on the planet. Who knew donkeys could be so fly?
But I bet you ain't never seen a donkey fly.
Also known as Pule cheese, this dairy product costs up to $1,000 per kilo. And this man, named Slobodan Simic, is the only person in the world producing donkey cheese at the Zasavica Special Nature Reserve in Serbia. This cheese is made from 60% Balkan donkey milk and 40% goat's milk. Since donkeys only produce less than a liter of milk in a day, and there's only a little over 20 donkeys that produce milk in his farm, Simic needed another dairy source to keep up with the demand. Simic also has a particular way of thickening the milk to make traditional cheese curds. This ultra-rare cheese is definitely worth its weight in gold. Before we go to our number 1 pick, do us a solid and make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to choose all so you won't miss out on any of our latest life-changing, boredom-busting content. And of course, be sure to turn on notifications in your app settings. Number 1, Almus Caviar. It's a known fact that caviar is the wealthy's go-to delicacy. But the Almus caviar? It's reserved for the upper, the 1%, the absolute elite members of society, in which most of us don't belong.
Allow your mind to wander.
Known as the world's most expensive caviar, the Almus caviar costs a jaw-dropping $25,500 for a 1 kilo tin. That's about $1 per ounce. But even if you have the deepest of pockets to afford this luxury food item, it's not easy to get your hands on one of these fancy fish eggs. The black gold caviar is produced by a rare type of fish called the albina beluga sturgeon. These are mostly found in the southern Caspian Sea, and only a few are out in the wild. It would take between 5 to 10 years before the Almus caviar becomes available, so there's usually a long waiting list for this. See, even rich people have to wait in line just like us.
If the line's this long, it's gotta be good.
So, if you had all the money in the world, which of these would be your pantry staple? Let us know in the comments section below. Take home any of our exclusive gear by browsing our merch shelf or clicking the link in the video description. And while you're at it, take our quiz to find out how you can earn extra cash online doing what you do best. Awesome, right? Might I interest you in some of our macabre munchies for dessert? Then don't miss our ranking of the 10 dangerous foods that can kill you. Till then, stay hungry for knowledge, Factnatics, and see you in the next video.